Hello and welcome to the VEST webinar series. I'm Megan O'Neill, your moderator for today's webinar session. Today we're excited to introduce our newest product, NetSkeme Plus, released just this past weekend. We're bringing more capability than ever to help you design top-notch schematics on the cloud within a web browser. This webinar will last approximately 30 minutes. You'll be able to submit questions or comments at any time during the webinar by posting in the questions section located within your webinar control panel. Questions may be answered as they're posted, or we'll try to address them in the last 5 minutes of the webinar. Note that today's session is being recorded and the audio is muted for all attendees. If you are experiencing any technical issues, please use the chat window to alert our support staff. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today's webinar session, Olivia Pratt. As a product owner, Olivia has been one of the key players in designing and producing NetSkeme Plus. She's been hard at work conducting demos, supporting customers, and pitching cutting-edge user experience and workflow ideas to the design team. Olivia?
I muted myself. Hi there, everybody. Thanks for being here today. I'm excited to show you what we've been working on. So let's get right into it. So I think right off the bat, we should talk about the fact that NetSkeme Plus is a cloud-based 2D schematic design product for hydraulic professionals. And so as a result, that means that if you want to sign up for a trial or a subscription of NetSkeme Plus, you should visit our website, netskeme.com, which has been freshly redesigned by my colleague, Megan O'Neill. So let's talk a little bit about where NetSkeme Plus falls in the VEST family of 2D products. So we're going to take a look at the pricing page here. So we have three 2D schematic products to choose from here. We have NetSkeme, NetSkeme Plus, and HyDraw CAD. So NetSkeme is for our light user, someone who's on the go, someone who needs something simple, easy to use, it's low cost, it's hosted on the cloud, but it does have some really powerful features like automatic bill of materials generation, automatic port chart creation, and automatic connection dots, line jumpers, connection routing, as well as a significant library of symbols and model data to choose from. On the other end of the spectrum, we have HyDraw CAD, which is our desktop product, which has a full suite of AutoCAD functionality because it's built on the AutoCAD OEM engine, and it's a very powerful product. You can do basically anything you can dream of there, but it is a desktop product. It comes at a higher price, and it's a little bit more challenging to learn how to use. So NetSkeme Plus, the middle child of the family here, is kind of meant to fill in that gap of something that is still lightweight, easy to learn how to use, easy to use. Comes at a middle point in terms of cost, and has more powerful features, capabilities, and customization options. So when you visit NetSkeme, if you like, you can visit this page and see this list of functionalities, capabilities. We have a downloadable PDF for further details. Our pricing options are listed here. And you can also set up a free trial at netskeme.com. You can get a 15-day free trial during which you can easily switch between NetSkeme and NetSkeme Plus to learn about what product suits your needs the best. So let's go ahead and log into my free trial. All right, welcome to NetSkeme Plus. So I understand some of our viewers might be coming from NetSkeme, previous users of NetSkeme. And with the very recent release of NetSkeme Plus, several updates were made to NetSkeme as well. So you might have noticed some changes, and this is also an opportunity for NetSkeme users to just learn what's new in NetSkeme as well. So when you're first logging into your trial account, this is a schematic I was already working on just to show off some of the capabilities within NetSkeme Plus. But when you're first logging in, a good place to start is to check out your personal details up here, which you can access by clicking on your initials. You can manage your profile, change your password, and check out your subscription details. Here, if you want to try out NetSkeme Plus or NetSkeme, this is where you can change between the two different trials, the two different products. And then if you choose to subscribe to any one of our products, you can choose your plan down here. We can also, a great place to start when you're first getting into NetSkeme Plus is to check out your preferences and make sure everything is set up the way you want to. We have a nice list of personalization options for you here, including different component numbering schemes, different item ID balloon types. At the bare minimum, you should probably make sure that your drawing units are set to your preference and what you need. I also like to point out the fact that NetSkeme and NetSkeme Plus do offer a number of default drawing templates, but if you or your company has some custom templates, you can upload them here. Like I was mentioning before, NetSkeme has a large library of model codes and symbols, and so this is where if you don't need to be seeing every NetSkeme supplied manufacturer out there, you can come here and whittle down your list to just what you need to see. So that's what I did right here. And we might get into this a little bit, but property settings is a bit of kind of metadata management. It's where you can manage what properties are displayed in the drawing when you insert a particular component type. But I think I've got everything in my preferences set to what I want. So let's exit out of this. And I'm gonna actually start a new drawing today. So NetSkeme outputs DWG drawings, DWG files, and you can also output PDFs and DXFs. So when I start a new drawing, it's going to automatically be a DWG. And I'm going to choose one of these NetSkeme default templates. And so let's get right into it and see what it's like to insert some symbols and find some model data. So we're going to want to open up our Library Explorer. So our Library Explorer is comprised of 3 kind of sub-libraries, as well as a really nice, powerful search function. So we have NetSkeme supplied data, my data, and our external reports library. So to go over this a little bit, our NetSkeme supplied data library, I think of this as kind of the public library. It's a very large collection of symbols and model codes. You can group it both by manufacturer or by function. And if I hadn't in preferences selected just a subset of manufacturers, this list would be quite long. So I think of it as the public library because I can't change what's in this library, but I can check anything out from the library at any time and kind of take it home with me. And that's what my data is for. So this is where you can build your own personal customizable library of custom data and symbols, as well as anything you might want to link from NetSkeme supplied data. You can customize the folder structure of this library. So I can right click on this and add in a new folder. And we'll try this out later. And I can rename these, cut, copy, delete, paste, whatever I need. And we're going to add some things into this library later. And then so, you know, I was calling this the public library. This is my home library. This is my home office. I can rearrange the shelves however I like, put whatever books on the shelves I want to. Then we have our external port library, which has a nice list of different port types and their corresponding port sizes. You can name your port and then insert, you know, whichever symbol is necessary for you. So let's insert some symbols. You know, it's easy enough for me, like right off the bat, I think I want to insert a Parker check valve. So I could, you know, work my way down through this folder structure here, or I could use the search function up here. So let's try it out. I know I want a Parker check valve. And when that search runs, it whittles down, filters out my my library, so it's easier for me to find what I need. And when I get down to a folder that contains data, two new panes are going to appear, the model data pane here and the symbol pane. And the Library Explorer is pretty flexible and fluid. I can change the arrangement of these panes. I can minimize things, so maybe I only want to see the symbols, and I can individually resize things. And if I knew more completely what I needed, I could also have refined my search a little bit more. So let's say I know the rated flow that I need, as well as the rated pressure, and I can put that in here. And now that I've done that, it's found exactly the model code I wanted with manufacturer, the component type, and everything. So I'm going to select this model code, double click on the symbol and insert it into the drawing. Easy enough. So just to check that everything is in order, I'm going to right click on this symbol, and we can see that we have a pretty nice context menu here of options. So if I, you know, say maybe this isn't quite the symbol I need, I could edit it right in the drawing here. I could edit the model data, and actually I'm going to select that and make sure that the model data is what I want. So when you first open it up, we see this property manager. I can extend the model data to see all the data that is associated with this symbol here. And you can see that it's brought in the model code that I wanted. If I wanted to complete this model code, I could do that. Just, you know, make the edits I need. I can also add a property. So let's say I want to add in like the list price. Now the list price is in here. Let's say that's my list price there. And then let's say I wanted to see a particular property in the drawing. All I have to do, let's say I want to see the max pressure. I can just click on this icon here. And now I can click save, and that property has appeared in the drawing. All right, let's insert just a couple more symbols. We can also search by model code or model family. So let's try this one. All right, I could also, you know, filter for any one of these. So let's say I want it, you know, I want anything that's less than 22, and that has whittled down my my list of model codes here. I can select that model code and insert it into the drawing. And then finally, there's always the option of just inserting a symbol first and then adding model data afterwards using a function called fetch from library. So let's find a particular symbol that we're looking for. I think I know what I'm looking for. This one. All right, now when I open up the model property manager, you can see this is kind of just a symbol on its own, so it doesn't have any data yet, but I can fetch data from the library, and this interface opens here. I can choose a particular manufacturer. And then I could filter any one of these properties here. Let's see. All right, I think I'm going to choose this model code here. It brings everything in as I need it. And I'm going to save that to my library. Now, real quick, we're going to explore the capabilities of my library. You know, this is a, you know, my library is a personal library of symbols and components that at this time is not shareable, although we are looking for we're building towards a solution for that, so you can build a shareable, customizable library within NetSkeme. But this is just so, you know, there's so much data out there, but we understand a lot of people work with a relatively small subset of data and they want to be easily able to find it. So let's say, you know, I started to build out a drawing and I'm like, you know what, I know I'm gonna need these later. So I can open up that property manager here, confirm that everything is as I want it to be. Maybe I wanna make some edits, maybe not. And I can just choose save to my library and it's gonna ask me what folder I wanna choose and confirm. And there it is. It's saved with the symbol and the model code associated with one another. I could also link something directly from the library. So this is a little bit more like checking out a book from the library. You know, whenever we make updates to model data within NetSkeme supplied data, any linked data you have in your library will be updated as well. So that's one of the benefits there. It's going to ask you to select model code. I could filter any one of these. So let's say I just want to save like the Eaton model codes. I'm going to link that to my library. And there we go. We have a linked symbol and we have a saved symbol. Let's finish up this really basic schematic. I'm going to draw a manifold envelope. I'm going to add some external ports. All right, and then let's add some connections. So NetSkeme has some default connection lines, your pressure, control, working, drain, and reservoir lines. And we have this helpful feature called Auto Connect, where whenever you create a connection and these green dots appear, it will kind of auto route your connection. So it minimizes how much you might have to make any adjustments. All right, let's move some things around real quick. One of the features of NetSkeme and NetSkeme Plus and HyDraw CAD is that with these smart connections, when you make a connection to a symbol with its symbol ports, and then you move around one of these symbols, for example, that connection will be maintained. And then just let's show off really quick our connection dots that automatically appear when you connect two lines. And then our automatic jumpers that also appear when you have crossovers between connection lines. All right, so let's generate a parts list, a bill of materials. So I have all the model data I want here. All I have to do now is click Insert Parts List. All right. So it appears automatically in the corner here, and this is the NetSkeme default configuration. So one of the capabilities of NetSkeme Plus is that you can customize what appears in your parts list and how it appears. So let's visit parts list preferences. And when we open it up, it is set to the NetSkeme default. But we have a lot of different ways that we can change things up here. What I'm going to focus on right now is just adding an extra column to my parts list. I already have these 4 columns: quantity, model code, description, and manufacturer. I think I'm going to add rated pressure. All right, you can see it's appeared here. I could change the alignment of the text in this column. I could change the width of the column. That looks good to me. I'm going to save that and go back to my drawing. We see that the changes haven't taken effect yet, but all I have to do is select Insert Parts List, and it'll update for me. The process is very much the same. With parts lists, it's automatically generated, and you can customize it in the same manner. Then another capability, if you use a 3D modeling software, you can export manifold data to, say, MD Tools or NetBlock 3D. So if you select this and then select your manifold, it's going to create a net list for you. You can customize any one of these names. Insert the net list into your drawing, and then you can export this for use in another 3D modeling program. A couple other exciting features of NetSkeme and NetSkeme Plus. There we have the ability to insert a sectional valve, to configure and insert a sectional valve. So this is this is all NetSkeme supplied data, not supplied by the OEMs, but it's a really useful tool. It's kind of its own world within NetSkeme, and just a fun thing to check out. And then also something that we haven't explored yet is our build symbol mode. And so, I was talking about, we have this large library of NetSkeme supplied data with thousands of symbols available to you, but sometimes you need to be able to make your own from scratch. So that is what build symbol mode is for here. So build symbol mode has its own library explorers.
Excuse me, Olivia, before we dig into build symbol mode, we do have a question from one of our attendees. They're asking, is it possible to have a massive import into the personal library?
That is a great question, and we, through our demos with some folks, we've heard this question a lot, and it's a functionality that we're excited to bring into NetSkeme in the future, but it's not something that we can currently do. So if you have the workaround, there are workarounds right now, but we just want to make the process a little bit more smooth right now. And so right now it's a little bit more of a manual building of your symbol library. However, if you do have HyDraw CAD, NetSkeme has an enterprise solution in which you can bring a HyDraw CAD library into NetSkeme. So that is one kind of way to like mass import a library into NetSkeme, is using NetSkeme Enterprise. And by the end of the year, we plan to bring NetSkeme Plus Enterprise online as well. All right, were there any other questions?
That's it for now, but thank you for that answer.
Okay, great. So yeah, within build symbol mode, we have, again, 3 sub-libraries, but they're a little bit different. We have ISO building blocks, which are like little bits of symbols that are ISO compliant that you can use to put together a symbol. We have our full library of NetSkeme supplied symbols, and then we also have any symbols you've already saved into your library. So let's just try out customizing a symbol. Let's see. All right, so let's say I just wanted to change these these flow paths here. So I'm going to visit my ISO building blocks library, find my flow paths, and I'm going to kind of insert some of these at random. And then a few other things I can do. We do have, you know, some basic drawing tools over here if you need to use them. I am going to add an insertion point. It's important. You can change, add, delete any of these symbol ports here if you need to. Add any text you might want to, and you can select a component type, which is what, when you save the symbol to your library, it's good to select a component type because that defines what properties are associated with this symbol. So let's just choose one of these. And then once you select a component type, you can also add display format. So whenever you choose for a symbol to display a property, it will display in a particular place. So let's just choose maybe rated pressure, and I want it to always appear right up here. Now I can save that to my library.
Olivia, we have another question. This one's more about build symbol mode.
Okay.
One of our attendees is asking, is it possible to create a symbol taking geometries from a DWG file?
Yes. I think the best way to do it, if you have an existing DWG file, you can upload it to NetSkeme, and then I would have to work through this exactly. Upload it to NetSkeme, copy and paste it into build symbol mode, make any changes you need to, and then save it to your library. I think that's the solution right there. So back in my library, we can see that that custom symbol that I just created is now available to be used. If I right click on it, we're going to see that all those properties are available for me. We can test out, you know, did that display format work as expected? And it does. It appears just where I asked it to. And then if I wanted to add model data to this component and save that to my library, I could do that now. So I now have both model data. I have both a custom symbol and a custom model data. Yeah. So I think I'm close to the end of my half hour with you guys. Something I also want to get into really quickly is just the fact that, you know, within my library, this is stuff that is stored on the cloud that we store for you. But when you are finished with your drawing and you want to download it or you want to share it, you're going to save it to your machine. Which, as it's a DWG file, that means that it will be compatible with any product that uses the DWG files, like HyDraw CAD. You can make further customizations there. All right, that concludes my presentation, but I'm excited to hear any further questions that anyone might have.
All righty, let me get my camera back on. It's loading. There we go. Great, thank you so much for that webinar. If any of our attendees, or if you're watching this at a little bit of a later date and you'd like to ask us some questions, we can always get to those later. If you do think of those questions, please send us an email at support@vestusa.com with your question and any details, and we'll do our best to respond within 24 hours. All right. And once again, thanks, Olivia. That was a great demonstration of today's product webinar. For our attendees, we would be grateful if you could complete a short survey at the conclusion of today's webinar. Tomorrow, you will receive an email containing a link to do a replay of today's session, and feel free to share that link with any of your colleagues. A link to the video segments from prior webinars will also be provided. The webinars will also be posted on our YouTube channel. As you can see, we have it all posted on other various social medias, including LinkedIn. LinkedIn will have registration links to future webinars. Our next webinar takes place on November 6th, where we will collaborate with Smart Fluid Power's Marco Rizzoli to discuss practical applications of dynamic simulation and fluid power circuit designs. One more thing on the survey, there's going to be a survey that comes out with that email. At the end of the survey, there will be a question if you would like to participate in a future survey about symbol build mode, which is what Olivia touched on in the last part of this webinar. We're trying to take in customer feedback to make that the best possible experience for everyone involved. I'd be greatly appreciated if you could complete that survey and let us know, and perhaps a future one as well. But thanks again, Olivia. Thanks for everyone attending the session. Have a pleasant and safe day, and we'll talk to you later.
Thank you.